Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm a bit behind here. I'm just setting up. Give me 2 seconds. Of course, I'm behind. I always am. Right, here we are. Welcome, and welcome to the first live stream of 2022. I can't believe we're here already. Let me just move this over. Nice shot of my carpet there. Delicious. Hello, Andres. How's it going, brother? Just get everything set up. I am as prepared as ever, which is to say, not at all. Where's my mouse? There we are. I'm just setting it up on my laptop as well, so I can engage with the comments and things like that. So you may have seen from the thumbnail what we're going to be working on today. It's going to be one of my projects for 2022, and it is the the French Army of the Orient. And as General Dan quite rightly points out, it is, of course, camel-tastic. I've got a bit of a thing for camels. I don't really know why. I did hear recently that in Saudi Arabia, this sounds slightly racist, but I promise you it's real. They they had to cancel a camel beauty pageant because I think it was to do with COVID, or I know they've got their own camel version of COVID as well, haven't they? So it might have been to do with that. But but yes, so today we are going to be looking at just paint along with some of these guys. I'm going to do the live draw around about 12 o'clock for the winner of the Advent Calendar Challenge, and it's really just an excuse to hang out. Really, it's Bank Holiday Monday in the new year. I miss these live streams. I do really enjoy them. So let me just get my French camel corps up. There we are. Oh, yeah, I've got plenty of pictures of the Foreign Legion. That's no good. There we are. The main thing I'm looking for actually is their cloaks to see what colour they are. I'm not 100% sure on them. There we go. Here's a picture of a Del Prado one. I do like the Del Prado stuff. I might forget something. Oh, so okay. So he's wearing a white cloak. So that's kind of what I've done here. I've used. I pick up the one that I've not done, obviously. I have used. Let me get my pointer paintbrush. There we are. I've used a Corax white on these, and that's given me a slightly off-white cloak. I'm going to apologise for the light. The light's not as good in here as it normally is. The sun's quite low today, as you would expect in December. So, unfortunately, the light is as it comes. So what I'm just going to do is I've just picked him up and noticed that I'm missing a bit of his cloak that I've not done. So let me just grab that. Now, these are a bit of an unusual one for me at the moment because I'm painting almost entirely using contrast paints. Huge fan of the contrast paints. But these ones I'm doing a little bit old school. Let me make sure that I'm on the screen there. I'm not, am I? Hang on, let's see if I can bring this over a little bit more. There we are. Yeah, so I generally use contrast paints these days, but I'm going a little bit old school with these, particularly for the blue, because I don't think there's a contrast paint that gives you this pale blue. I've not seen one anyway. I mean, I'm certainly no absolute expert on the contrast paints, but so at the moment I'm going to go with the light blue, the classic wash, and then I'll go back over it again. So I think that's his cloak done there. I may also be super naughty at some point and quickly wash some World War II vehicles that I've been working on as well, because I needed them for next week or possibly the week after. I'm not sure yet. I've got a Flames of Wargaming coming up. So let's quickly for the chat. Hello, Andreas. Nice to see you, buddy. Hello, Ratel Mike. I got your entry for the thing. I've got Andreas as well. I remember the Rattel came. Someone brought one out in 50 mil, or I think it may have been. I think it might have been Peter Pig actually for their Africa Wars range. I always thought it was a cool little vehicle. So no, I'm very envious that you've romped around in one of those. Let me have a look. Well, I've said that I am very envious. It probably wasn't so much fun when you're in it. That's for sure. Let's just repair that chip there. Now, one of these guys is actually missing his arm. I dropped them the other day, and I got absolutely no idea where it's gone. Look, fortunately, I've got some spare arms, so I'm going to use one of those, and we will make it all good to go. Thor, hello. Any tips on doing Austria? Any tips on doing Austrians? The reason I'm laughing is every single live stream we have, someone asks, "How do you paint Austrians?" And every single live stream we have, I say, "General Dan's in the chat. General Dan, can we have your recipe?" I meant to actually text you and ask you for it in advance because I knew it would come up. But for me, particularly now, I would just spray them white, just army painter white or whatever white you use, and then I would wash them with apothecary white, which is the Games Workshop contrast paint. And I just you could re-highlight them if you want. Something that could be quite interesting would be to give a very, very light wash with Skeleton Horde, which is their bone color. And then you could maybe pick out the straps and things like that in white, and that would give you the unbleached linen look of the uniforms, and it'd help the cross belts and the belts and things like that stand out. Now, for me personally, I like the classic white look, so I just use white. But I think modern scholarship is very much of the opinion that they would in fact be more of a wool color. So just like a sheep's fleece off-white color, really. That's certainly how General Dan has painted his. I'm not sure his technique. It probably takes about 300 layers. But I will say for General Dan is his figures do look absolutely stunning. They're far, far better than mine. So that's no criticism of his technique at all. So here we go. Now the problem I find with these figures is here's a first world problem for you. It's a problem I find with many camel riding figures, particularly in metal, because the camels have got such long legs. Their bodies are quite high. Then you've got the rider on top. They're always really top heavy. Now I could have gone away with that by gluing them on a 50 mil, two on a 50 mil square, and that certainly would have made them a lot more stand upable. But as it is, I wanted to do them for skirmish games as well. When General Andy was still around, we had a couple of games of sharp practice, and we were setting them in North Africa. So he had the French. I was collecting like a landing party type force, so it was sailors and marines. We had a couple of games, and to be honest, I don't think we really knew what we were doing. So the game probably wasn't as good as it should be. It was sort of one of those things where we both kind of half knew the rules, so we thought we were doing it right, but we almost certainly weren't. So yeah, I might go back to it, or I might just continue developing my Lord of the Sharp rules, which is a blatant rip-off of Games Workshop's Lord of the Rings rules, which for my money, is their second best rule set of all time after Battlefleet Gothic. And yeah, so it's just using that, but Napoleonic times. So we will see. That's why I've based them individually. I'll get some Sabo bases for when we play. So Andrea says, best tip, we could get a good white and be careful where you apply wash. Yeah, no, I think that's fair enough. That's if you want to go down the white route, which is how I do them. As I say, Dan does them an off-white, and I actually think his look better, but I'm not repainting all of mine. So I'm kind of stuck with it, I'm afraid. Trezio 2006 asks, what do I think about 1/72 scale? General Dad is a huge fan of 1/72 scale. I actually really like it with some caveats. So the caveats being, basically Zvezda. I think Zvezda are as good as any 28mm manufacturer out there. I actually think they're better than a large number of 28mm manufacturers, to be honest. But they're certainly, at their worst, as good as any 28mm manufacturer. I really like 1/72 scale. I think it's good, it's cheap. One of the things that used to be really good for and now is really bad for is actually getting hold of it. You used to be able to find it in things like paper shops and things like that, but less so much these days. I mean, that's a terrible mold lying down the middle of his face there. You used to be able to get them in like paper shops and things like that. But sorry, I'm just inspecting. Now I'm off camera. I'm just inspecting that mold line a little bit. Yeah, so you used to be able to get them in like paper shops and things like that, but you can't get them on the high street anymore. And most sort of places don't really sell 20mm. So, for instance, we've just had a new Element Games store open here in Sheffield, which takes the number of non-Games Workshop gaming stores in Sheffield to 3. I'm not entirely sure that we need 3 wargaming shops in Sheffield, but you know, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. We've got Wargaming Emporium. They sell Victrix, whereas the Outpost doesn't. And you know, the Outpost will sell, say, TT Combat. That their Wargaming Emporium won't. So we'll see what Element Games brings to the mix as well. But yeah, I'm not really sure we need a third wargaming shop in Sheffield, I have to say. But well, you know, well, shouldn't complain, I suppose. I would also say about 1/72 scale as well that what did I buy for my dad for his birthday? My dad's birthday, as you may know from the advent calendar, was on the 16th of December. So I bought him the new Strelets Chasseur Cheval of the Guard, and they are absolutely gorgeous. Strelets are a really weird company. I think they're Ukrainian, and I've always really liked their models, but they've been terrible. So I've liked them more for their ambition rather than their like skill or ability. But in recent sets, they are absolutely gorgeous. I've got their I bought their Highlanders and something else. I can't remember what the other one was. I got for him last year, and this year, as I said, I've got the Chasseur Cheval of the Guard, and they are lovely, lovely models. They're on like parade. You get a model of Napoleon and a model of, well, it's a woman, so it could be Josephine. But no, really, really cool. So yeah, no, 1/72 scale, pretty good. Not adverse to it at all myself. If I didn't have so much 28mm, I could be tempted by 1/72 scale. But I've got so many scales. I've bought I bought 4 copies of Wargames Illustrated this month, so I've got 4 sprues from the new Epic scale as well. So I've got a brigade of cavalry in 12mm now. I've got armies in 15mm, and I've obviously got armies in 28mm. So yeah, 1/72 scale is great, but one scale too far for me, I'm afraid. So Mike, I've had some results on painting off white or beyond 80mm. Basically, grey seal, wash with apothecary right, and then highlight lines with Ultraman grey. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Mr. Bear says, where I live, we have one Games Workshop store, and that's it. Yeah, exactly. So I shouldn't complain about having too many shops. Like, it's an interesting choice to open a shop. So I've been to the Element Games main store a few times, and I have to say it's absolutely disgusting. It's in an old mill in Stockport, which, for those of you who don't know, is an old industrial town in the north of England. So it's only about an hour away from Sheffield. But everything there is dusty. It's honestly, it's very, very unpleasant. It is not the kind of place that you would take your significant other, that's for sure. You know, if he was like, you know, oh yeah, you know, I just want to pop in there, then she should probably wait in the car, to be fair. Unlike Firestorm Games, which I went to a Warhammer tournament there a while ago. That's in Cardiff, and that is absolutely fantastic. As a store, I've never been in a gaming store as good as that one. It was bright, it was open, it had a good bar, which was always a bonus. It was modern. It looked absolutely phenomenal. So if you're ever in and around Cardiff, and Mr. Drakeford allows you out, then head to Five Storm Games. It's really, really nice. Highly, highly recommend that place. But yeah, so Stockport's about an hour away from where I live in Sheffield. And I don't know why they've built another shop here when they could have put one in central Manchester. There's no wargaming shops in central Manchester. There's a couple of like stockists, but no dedicated wargame shop. Or they could have put one in Leeds. There isn't one. They could have gone even further afield. Got one in like Newcastle. I think Liverpool's got one. I'm not 100% sure. I've not been to Liverpool since I graduated from university in 2004. So I've not been there for a while. But yeah, there's loads of places they could have gone that are as far as Sheffield. But yeah, no, it's very odd, very odd. One of the things I will say is that Sheffield Town Centre is pretty run down these days as well. So, you know, any shops that come in, I suppose, are good, helping for the rates and all that stuff. Although, hopefully the council gave them a big discount on the rates, because they're going to need it to get businesses to open. Right. Peter O'Brien, I do mind a barely off-white colour, so we're still on the Austrians, with a very light wash, then pick out any belts and straps in pure white. Oh yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, that's how I would do it were I to start my time again. Where I live, I don't have a store, so I have to go to my grandma in Germany where they have a miniature store. When I was in Berlin, I went to, I think it's Battlefield Berlin, and I recommend that to, obviously we're not in the EU anymore in the UK, so charges and things like that would apply if you ordered from, say, Element or the Outpost or something like that. So I recommend the Battlefield Berlin guys, because I went in there and there was some really, really top blokes in there. Really nice, good display cabinets. Again, a good store, a little bit cramped, but they were trying to get too much in the shop, which is okay. It's that's a good reason to be over cramped, I think. So yeah, I don't know if that would suit you for mail order, but Battlefield Berlin was my top choice when I was in Berlin. Oh, when was that? Last year? Last March, I think. February, March time. Was it? No, 2 years ago it must have been. Yeah. Because it was before, I don't know. It must have been 2 years ago, because it was before the COVID. So we had the first European case happened while I was in Berlin. So that's when that happened. I was considering Austrians, but the pain of painting whites has put me off for now. Yeah, that's fair enough. Especially as well, what makes it worse is not only is it the most pain in the arse colour to paint, they've got absolutely humongous regiments as well. So yeah, no, it's not even as if you just got to paint it on. Say the Spanish, you've only got to paint it on 24 guys per battalion, so you're fine. But you've got to on 48 for the Austrians. So I'm just doing the reins on these camels. Now you can see that the paint's actually worn off a little bit on the necks of some of them. I'm going to have to go back and do that. I think these camels are going to need varnishing as well. As I said earlier on, they're very top heavy, so so they do fall over quite a lot. It might just be that they're drunk on the French wine that they give them. There we go. Charlotte's new line of the War of Spanish Succession look really nice. Oh, I've not looked at them. I shall have to check them out. For once, any of you 172nd scale fans out there, I'm sure you know about it, but if you don't, there's a website called Plastic Soldier Review that does reviews, shockingly, of it's just 172nd scale figures on there. Really, really good website. Cannot recommend that one highly enough. I use it quite a lot. I also use it for for instance, I'm doing a video on I don't know, the Chasseur Cheval of the Guard, for argument's sake. Yeah, they'll have a little blurb on there, a little review. It might only be 5 or 6 lines, but you may find a nugget in there that you didn't know about. So, yeah, no, it's a really good website. Plastic Soldier Review, it's called. Even if you're not into 172nd scale, it's still worth a look. Not just for Napoleonics either, they do all periods. No way I went there to a Christmas holiday. I thought, yeah. Yeah, it's a good shop. I really, really was impressed with it. Yeah, no, it was. To be honest, I was a little surprised that they called themselves that. I'm not going to lie. And I bought a single from the Plastic Soldier Company, a single SDKFZ. I think it was a 222. I think it was. No, it was an 8-rad. The 8-wheeled armored car to be the command vehicle for my SS Recce battalion. So yeah, so I was a little surprised they called it that, and I was a little surprised at the range they had in stock. But no, it's a cool shop, and like I say, the guys in there were pretty cool as well. I had a good chat with them. I went to a bar just like near. So I got off the metro. I don't know what it's called in Berlin, whatever the Berlin version of the metro is, and I walked down, and then I came back, and there was a bar opposite the metro station, and it is without doubt one of the roughest bars I've ever been in. I sort of came in and asked for a beer, and they all sort of laughed at my pathetic German attempt at German. So I sat down, and then the barmaid came over. She must have been in her like 60s or whatever, smoking, which I don't think you could do indoors in Berlin. But came over. She just brought me like a beer, and then she just basically brought me various beers and forced me to drink them all night. It was it was definitely a thing. Yeah. I can't remember what the pub was called, but it was opposite the metro station. So there you go. If you're ever in that area of Berlin, then pop by and get some good beers. It wasn't that expensive either, actually. Retail Mike says, on my AB miniatures, I sprayed 2 coats of gloss varnish, then matte. Ammo MIG through the airbrush so far. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, I have heard, actually, that gloss varnish is better protection than matte. But then, obviously, you end up with the gloss varnish finish. So people paint the matte over the top, which would sound reasonable. I've also heard the thing that puts me off it, I'll be honest, is all the horror stories about it going cloudy. You spray a varnish on, and it just looks like you sprayed them with white spray paint. And if you've gone to the effort to buy all the models and paint them and all that stuff, oh, I think that would just destroy my soul. I had a Dark Eldar army from Games Workshop that I bought and built using some glue that obviously the solvent hadn't been mixed in or something, because the glue just crystallized and it glued it together. But if you applied any pressure at all, it just fell off. And yeah, so I built this whole Dark Eldar army and started painting it, and it was looking all right. And then the bits started dropping off, and I just couldn't look at that. In fact, I sold the army in the end. I can't look at this army anymore. It really, really made me hobby sad. So what about you guys? What did you get for Christmas? What did Santa bring you under the tree? Have you got any plans for armies this year? What forces are going to be marching out from winter quarters to take to the field in 2022? I have a sneaky feeling that this summer, we will see the largest removal of restrictions, and then I can't imagine we're going to go back again in the winter. But who knows? But you've got a plan for these things. So who's getting a new army for the new campaign season 2022? That's my question for you guys. Well, not even necessarily a new army, but who's expanding their existing army if you're not getting a new one. Oh, damn, Jan, that does sound painful. Ugh, grim. Now, I did have a palette somewhere. What did I do with it? Told you I was well prepared. Oh, let's look. You may have realised that's the motto of the channel. This will do. So I like to think of it as improvisation, adapting, and overcoming. There we go. There's a spare base. I don't need that. I'm trying to get a little bit of a point on this brush. It's not a great one, but I'll go over it. I've also made the handle really sticky as well. I got some alcohol on it, some isopropyl, or however it's pronounced, alcohol on there. And it started melting all the paint on there, so that's quite irritating as well. Luke Baird, I got my first Napoleonic army of this year. Oh, fantastic. Well done, man. What did you get? Was it the noble, dashing French? Was it the stoic British? Or was it the boring scumbag Prussians? I'm joking. We love the Prussians. We love the Prussians on this channel, really. The dreaded smoke effect. Yeah, absolutely. Resin poles for Clive. Yep, good choice. We'll definitely have to, when we meet up at Richie's for a game at some point, Clive, we're definitely going to have 1812 or something like that, where we've got all the different nations on. My Württembergers are definitely getting ready for an epic clash. I'll just bung that up there. Right, now I've just noticed on the, I've just got a picture up on Google Images, that the area between the braiding, I thought that was solid braiding, but apparently it's not. It's the colour of the coat with the braiding quite loose in between it. So get me some contrast. Now, contrast doesn't work for every colour, I have to say. It works particularly well, though, I found, anyway, for reds, which I've just noticed this Nizam officer here needs a little bit of a touch-up. He's getting a bit scuffed. So it works particularly well, I found, for reds, greens, and blues. Well, I say greens. It works good for what is effectively dark angel green, so a very dark bluish green. But it doesn't tend to work very well, or I've not been able to get it to work for like an olive drab kind of green. It didn't work for me, that one. In fact, I don't think I've used it since the first time I tried. So I'll have to go back to it somehow. Just bear with me 1 second. Oh. I've made the fatal mistake this time of not attaching the camera to the painting table. So the painting table is moving and the camera's not, whereas before it would have been I could have moved the table around and it wouldn't have changed the thing. Never mind. Liveand, I got French Waterloo era. Good choice, sir. Good choice. So you're playing the goodies. That's the way I think about it. Rattel, Christmas gift was a new Waterloo starter set for Epic. Oh, fantastic! Yeah, no, that's good. I need to grab that at some point myself. For the channel, you see, for the channel, you got to understand. But yeah, no, I will be getting it. Unfortunately, I'm so behind on my painting projects that I'm not entirely sure I can justify it. But I'm sure I will. I'm sure I'll manage. When the outpost actually have it on the shelf, I might pop in and pick one up rather than pre-order it. Remember, if you are pre-ordering it, I do have an affiliate link with the outpost. So if you're in the UK, then they are stocking pretty much all of Warlord's range, although they don't do Russian infantry starter deal, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, they do the vast majority of Warlord ranges, so they'll be doing all the epic stuff as well. I'm very looking forward to that, though. I've started painting my free cavalry sprues. So at least I've got a force. If someone wants to play at the club or whatever, at least I can turn up with my French heavy cavalry brigade. Let's be honest. If you've got a French heavy cavalry brigade, do you need anything else? I mean, do you really? Let's get there. As I say, I'm not entirely sure where his arm has gone, but we will find a spare. That is fine. That's why particularly with the multi-part plastics, never throw anything away, because you can always find a use for them. Now, that said, you also don't necessarily want to be hoarding like boxes and boxes of sprues, so it might be worth clipping them off. Some people organize them by like arm. So say my brother, he's got like a nail, like a tool, like a nail sort of thing, and he puts all these bits in there and he's got them marked up like heads or arms or whatever. So you could do it that way, or just clip them off into a little box and say, oh yeah, this is the spares from the Victrix Old Guard. This is the spares from Perry's, mid-war French elites or whatever, Clive is frantically painting the 1st Regiment as we speak. What, of Poles? That's cool. I do like my Poles. I actually found my Polish army upstairs while I was looking for Christmas decorations, which I'd forgotten I had. So I'll have to get those guys painted up soon. They are from, what's he called? Morawski Miniatures. I think it's Morawski Miniatures. 2 of his brigade deals. So there's quite a lot of Polacks there. They're definitely going to need some attention. Right, so that's their coaster. Now I've done between the braiding there, so I can just go back and not dry brush but side brush over the braiding, get the shade in there. I could have probably just used the wash straight over it, but I thought I didn't want it to be too pale in there. It probably wouldn't have been, because this blue Drakenhof Nightshade is a very, very strong wash, so I probably would have been okay. But well, never mind. We've done it properly now. So this is the trumpeter. He is in reverse colours. Now I don't know actually if they wore reverse colours or not. I assume they did. Hence the reason I painted him in reverse colours. So there we go. But he goes down there with it being the red and the red and blue. He doesn't actually look that much different to everyone else. Anyway, he sort of fits quite nicely in. Shall we get underneath there? Now, so I'm applying this straight from the pot. I'm not watering this one down very much. And that's because, as I say, it's a very strong blue. It's a very strong tone. Now, part of me wanted to paint these guys very contrasty anyway. I use contrast with the small, see there, not Games Workshop contrast. But contrast as in there's a sharp difference between light and dark. And that's because obviously these guys are fighting in the desert. So that gives you, that strong desert sun would create that effect. Now, it's not something I'm going to go mega deep into. It's not a technique that I'm going to spend hours and hours on, but it's just a painting, a small painting choice to make, just to have the hint of that effect, I guess. Akos Torma, last year I ordered an Austrian army together with Prussian, French, Württembergers and Russian, but they are unfortunately having trouble because of Brexit. Well, to be honest, they use that as an excuse for everything, but also at the same time, it is quite possible as well. Who did you order them from, dude? I mean, it shouldn't have taken hugely longer. Let me know who you ordered them from, and I'll see if I've heard anything that I might indicate. But no, that's a real shame. Because obviously, when you've ordered these things, you're excited to get started with them. And then being held up in customs is no fun at all. So bang that on there. These big poofy trousers, they take the washers really, really well, really nicely. There's a lot of creases on there, so they'll go in nicely and we'll get it done. Try this arm now. Now, I don't know if you can see there. Let me hold it up to the camera. Where the wash goes on, it loses quite a bit of vibrancy in the blue. So sometimes I won't bother going back over and re-highlighting, particularly for troopers, because it's just an extra step, an extra time that's not necessarily worth it. But in these cases, there's not going to be very many of them. They are something of a focal point for the army, and they really have lost that vibrancy that you want from these guys. So going back to the strong sun contrast as well, there's no real reason that these colours should be washed out like this and dark. They should be quite vibrant, reflecting the sun quite a lot. So there we go. I'm going to just pop the ones I've done up here off camera for now. Don't worry though. I'm painting some British Anglo-Zulu war guys. Oh, cool. Okay. I know General Dan's getting more interested out. We played a game with Richie when we played our big Catra Bra game. We played the night before. We played some Black Powder, and I know it's some Black Powder Colonial. I know it's certainly got Dan's juices flowing. I'm still waiting for the Perrys to do their French Franco-Prussian War stuff before dipping my toes fully into the Victorian era of warfare. Painting Berg Lancers using the Victory Scar Lancers. Oh, lovely. I was looking at those myself, actually, thinking of doing a similar thing at the end of last year. Are you doing the first Berg Lancers in green with their pink facings, or are you doing the second Berg Lancers in white with their pink facings? Both are cool. Well, actually, I shouldn't say which one are you doing. I should say which one are you doing first, because they're both ace. Damn, Jan, I'm quite burnt out painting, but probably more Prussians when I get the will to order. On that topic, any tips for overcoming burnout, getting motivation? I'm going to come back to that, Dan Jan. I'm not going to ignore it, but that's a really good question. It's quite a big one. If anyone's got any tips in the comments, bung them in there. But I want to come back to that because, yes, it's a real issue, and I'll come back to it. Painting-wise, I will continue with my Dutch Lancers. Good man. I've got a brigade of 1809 Austrian infantry that needs painting. But hey, they will be quite quick. Okay, Benedict, yeah, I believe you. Millions wouldn't. Got back into the Napoleonic over the last few months. Oh, hang on, I've gone way too far. This is from Glenn Wilson. I'm currently doing the French-British to represent the fight over the Medellin at Talavera. Ooh, okay. That'd be a good one. So quite early there as well. So I quite like Talavera. It's an interesting battle. So you've got the French when they're supposed to be really good versus the British when they're supposed to be not very good. And yet the British still do a pretty good job of things. Although I was listening to a video yesterday and I cannot remember the channel of it. I'm really sorry. But they had like, they were animated. They had like comedy sort of animations. It was a little bit like, I don't know if you've seen the meme where there's the guy, he's like, you're talking to the dog. He says, does the dog bite? And he said, no, but he can hurt you in other ways. And then he says, like, a home truth about you. It's done in that animation style. And it was about the British fighting the Poles in the Peninsular War. I cannot remember the name of the battle, but it was an absolute disaster for the British. It's hilarious. I'll try and find the video and link it in the description down below at the end of the live stream if I remember. But I'm sure someone in the comments will know what I'm talking about because it's absolutely fantastic. I'm definitely going to look at more of his channel. I've not even heard of his channel before, but it came up in my my suggestions, and he said, and I can't think of a way to disprove this, but he did say that it was the only time that the British have fought the Poles in history, and I think he might be right. Like I said, I can't think of another example. But that's cool, Glenn. Painting Berg Lancers, yeah, we're running that one. If I was doing Napoleonics, I'd do one of the duchies in the Confederation of the Rhine, like Oldenburg or something. Okay, that's cool. Something a little bit different. The thing is with the Confederacy states as well is they fought against France in 1813-14. So you can be on both sides there as well. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. Even the big states like Bavaria turned against Napoleon. So maybe Württemberg, Westphalia. I don't think they did, but everyone else pretty much did. So yeah, no, that's cool. Yep. Perry mentions Oldenburg infantry look really cool. Yes, they do. They do look good. I just finished 48 foot for my British Peninsular Army, but well, you could use those for Waterloo as well because they have the same headwear, I believe, isn't it? The stovepipe shako they wore at Waterloo. Now painting 14th to 16th Light Dragoons. We are having the first UK-based event end of January. Oh, fantastic! So you're coming over to the UK then, are you, Retail Mine? That's cool. Where's that event taking place? Father Christmas was good. I have the 3 initial units from Silver Bayonets. Oh yeah, no, that looks good actually. The figures, when I initially saw the figures, I thought, I'm not entirely sure about them. I wasn't that impressed. And I had a look at them again, and I was like, well, I was completely wrong. These are lovely. So I particularly like he's Mr. Norrell figure, but he shouldn't be because he doesn't join the army. It's Jonathan Strange that joins the army. But well, there you go. That's a bit of deep nerd lore for you there. So yeah, I don't know what that was. My idea for the Hesse Darmstadt artillery. Okay, cool. First Big Regiment first. Yeah, well, that sounds reasonable. Damn John, watching films reading around the era helped me. Yeah, I mean that's certainly one of the things for stopping the burnout that I find. Yeah, no, absolutely. Hello, Conradson. Hello, nice to see you, buddy. Silver Bandit Part 2. My Silver Bandit units are actually destined for a game with gigantic proportions, which I will reveal later in the year, and which may be of interest to all clubs. Okay, that sounds interesting, Nick. I do live my life like a camel in the wind, batting my beautiful long eyelashes and stopping myself from getting sand in them. So, yes, I've not been to any Saudi Arabian beauty pageants for camels recently. So cool. I've got his little tricolor plume. I quite like that. Now that's quite pale, but don't worry. I'm going to bang the blue wash over it. You don't have to be at war with someone to help them be conquered as a British. Well, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, the British turned up at this fort that had 60 Poles or something defending it, and he said, surrender the fort. Surrender your arms, basically. And apparently, the Pole replied, "Come and take them." Was it Molon Labe, I think, isn't it? Which is the old Spartan battle cry, which is very good. So he talks about in the cartoon about how he sent a second envoy, but the commander was really concerned because he only had one witty one-liner retort, so he was quite concerned that there'd be a second one that he'd have to come up with. So he just didn't let them in the end. So I'm not sure about Napoleon is what colour shoes everybody wore. They're generally shown with hussar boots on, but these guys have got like Turkish slippers. So I mean, I could just paint them as boots, I suppose, but I'd rather do them. You know what? Nah, I'm going to do them as Turkish slippers. See, they've got red trousers on now. Slippers. They're going to have yellow Turkish slippers on. There you go. That is the depth of research that goes into this channel. I hope I hope you're all taking note there. There's what colour shoes do they have? I don't know. What looks cool? Yellow. Yeah, that'll do. It might have to not be yellow because I can't find my yellow paint. Oh no, there we are. I thought it was the beard, not the eyelashes. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. You see, Dan, that's it. I'm helping you out with this, dude. Just think, like, maybe this year we'll have another Warhammer weekend. Year after, we'll get them all into Napoleonics. Simplified history, Glenn. Yes, it was. Yes, that's exactly what it was. Well researched, sir. Yes. Yes, no, it was an excellent channel. As I say, I'm going to have to definitely watch some more of their videos. There we got some nice yellow booties. He's obviously one of the Sultan's guards in his yellow boots. I might just do the one for now, see how it looks. If it looks a bit naff, then I can always go back and do them black. So, painting black over something's a lot easier than going the other way, that's for sure. So what time is it? So we're up to 11:15, so we're not quite ready for the draw yet. What I'm going to do is I've got... so this is why they all had to be in for 12:30 on Friday. Was I've got the whole wodge of them here. This is all of them, I think. Oh no, that's my Ottoman That's my Ottoman battle pack. There we are. So I've got a whole wad of them here. I printed them all out. So these are UK taxpayers' dollars hard at work. We ended up with, I had 63 that I printed out on like Wednesday or Thursday last week. And then I put the final call out for people saying, oh, remember, they've got to be in by 12 o'clock today. And I had another 14. So we've actually had 77 applications for this one. So that's really, really cool. There are a lot of people who replied saying to the answers video, saying, oh, you know, I wish I'd competed now because I knew more of them than I thought I did. So there you go. You know, it was free to enter. So there's never a reason not to. And this guy's chipped his trousers. Yeah. I've also missed the bottom of his plume, which was a bit of a fail. So let's go back in there. Like so. Pro tips for shoes if you're not sure colour and weathering. Absolutely, yeah. Unfortunately, weathering in this is just sand now, so that would fall straight off. So there we are. The little cockade, the trickler cockade, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to need a smaller brush for that one. So yeah, for avoiding burnout, to be honest, one of the things I find, and it's not, I know it's not a very helpful thing to say, but it is to have a break. It's not to feel that you have to do these figures or something like that. It's to sort of have a break just so you can look back and enjoy doing what you're doing. Because if you're not enjoying it, there's not really any point in doing it. It is a hobby after all. Yeah, I mean, certainly watching films or reading books and things like that can get you inspired. Something I do to try and stop the burnout is, rather than painting a period. So at the moment I'm painting these camels. Now I don't normally paint like this. What I would normally do is, for argument's sake, I'm painting the red. So I paint the trousers on these guys. Now I'll grab my Imperial Knight and I'll paint the red on him. And then I'll grab something else, my Ottoman officer who I had earlier on, or something like that. Paint the red on them. And then I find that by painting by colour rather than by unit or system, it just lets me mix things up a little bit. Now that said, it does obviously mean that you have to do a million things at once, and it's often very easy to not do that. But yeah, I mean, that's another thing I find can be useful, is to paint by color rather than by periods. Sorry, I'm just looking at another picture of this camel core, and it does appear that they're very all over the place. So I think there may have been certain things that were uniform and certain things that weren't. Now, one of the things that doesn't seem to have been was the saddle cloth, I guess you could call it. And they've got those like little wooden frame saddles, haven't they? I guess you could call it saddle cloth. And the officer here, he's not gonna have the yellow boots because he's wearing hussar boots, as you can see. So I'll give him a yellow saddle cloth instead, and that will mix him in with the unit then. I was asking if you had any suggestions for the artillery. I still don't know what figures to use. I'll be honest with you, man. I don't really know much about their artillery, to be honest. Remind me of the state again. Oldenburg, was it? And I'll have a look on the Google machine and see what comes up. Because off the top of my head, I've got absolutely no idea what they look like, I'm afraid. So yeah, just remind me of the or was it Hesse Darmstadt? Just remind me what it was, and I'll have a look up for you. The Poles were always trolling people in World War II. They flashed "We're Polish" in Morse code at the Bismarck. Absolutely based. Love it. Yeah, I could absolutely believe them doing that. So, good on them. And I certainly know in the UK they had a Polish air squadron, which didn't used to ram the German fighters, but it basically used to wait till they were at point blank range before shooting at them with the cannons. Might not work as well for Egypt as for my AT-14 Prussian. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Joining with the calendar competition was nice learning experiences, hitting on obscure stuff I might not have heard of. Yeah, no, that was the idea. It was just to, just to sort of, get people looking stuff up. Or, if they already knew these things, if they're an old grognard, then it got them to, to see how much they already knew. So that's good as well. So, David Collins, you're up at 6 a.m. That is a truly Herculean effort. Thank you very much, buddy. I could have done this at 6 a.m. really, couldn't I? And that would have been maybe one day. Maybe one day I will do a stream at silly o'clock, and I'll do it for my overseas viewers. Although I haven't said that, the light here is not great at 6 a.m. So that's my excuse for not doing it at US time. Plus, as well, it'd be about midnight there, wouldn't it? So I guess I'll have to do it in the evening, about 8 o'clock. The Polish Navy are certainly crazy. Yeah, there they are. Doing a mad scramble to type projects before epic Waterloo. And Carthaginians moving on to Saracens today. Oh, very good. What scale are those? The Carthaginians are, I don't know, they're a weird army. I've got a Republican Roman army. I absolutely love Republican Rome. I love the army. I just think they're absolutely awesome. And I'm like, right, I'm going to do Republican Romans today. So I sit down, get my paints out, and as soon as I dip my brush in the paint, I'm like, I can't be arsed these guys. And I put them away again. I don't know what it is. I've got some sort of mental block about painting my Republican Romans. But no, they are super cool. But yes, Carthaginians are very good as well. You've got a good mix of units there as well. You've got Celts, Gauls, Spaniards, Italian allies, obviously North Africans, Numidians. If you name it, if it was in the ancient world, they can fight for the Carthaginians. And you can also extend the Carthaginians out to Greece as well, so they can fight the Pergamese or the Seleucids, all that good stuff as well. Right, cool. I think that's he's good. Actually, no, I need to do his waistcoat as well, don't I? So I'm just going to do the whitewashing on these guys, and then we will do the draw. So So I said I've got 70 odd applicants. I was going to go through how I'm going to do it. What I'm going to do is I was going to get someone to pick it, but no dice on that one, I'm afraid. So speaking of dice, what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate them into two piles. We're going to have a 1 to 3, 4, 5, 6 pile. So we're then going to subdivide that into another pile. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then so on and so on until we're left with 6 applications left. Then we're going to roll the dice, and then that one is going to be the winner. I'll turn it over. I've redacted everyone's email addresses off there, so it'll have the name on there, but not the email address. So I'll turn it over. We'll see who the winner is. We'll mark it together, and then if they have won, then they will be contacted by email. If they have not won, if they've not got the 16 right, then they will be eliminated, and we will roll again. So that's the way that's going to work. I've got some dice with me. They're actually Gebrisjäger dice. A bit of German mountain troops for you. But they were the closest dice I had to hand. I probably should have planned this better and got my French dice, shouldn't I? But never mind. On burnout, having a bit of a break is a good idea. I thought when I saw adapts, I get burnout big time for me. As soon as I saw a finished battalion, that gave me the motivation for the next. Yeah, that's a good idea as well. Yeah. Sometimes it's just you need to paint through it. It's a bit like hitting the wall. Maybe lower your goals as well. So instead of saying, oh yeah, my goal is for 2022 to complete my entire army, and then that's it. Instead of that, say for argument's sake, well, that's the overarching goal. So let's break that down. And let's say for January, I'm going to paint 2 battalions of infantry, for argument's sake, or, a battalion of infantry, or, whatever's realistic to you. And then once you've got that painted, you can just chill out for the rest of the month, or you can try and get ahead, something like that. But if it's a big project, then break it down into smaller chunks. It could even be, I'm going to just paint all the heads for this battalion this week. and then I'm going to do all the bodies next week, or whatever it is. But I do know what you mean. I had it with my Victrix Polish Lancers, well, Dutch Lancers. I did them as. It was a massive effort to actually get them finished, and I look at them now and they're still not finished. They need a lot of work doing to them still. They're probably only about 3/4 done, but I just can't face them, if I'm honest. I just can't go back to them, and it's not because they're bad models or anything like that. It's just, I don't know what it is. I had the same thing, so I can sympathize with you. The Poles really put a shift in World War II. The Poles always put a shift in. They do not go half measures, bless them. I saw there's an Osprey for the Battle of Warsaw in 1920, which I must confess I know absolutely nothing about. So I may end up getting that Osprey campaign book. Speaking of stuff that might be motivating, just let me know in the comments what your guys' thoughts on this is. I've actually done a hobby bingo card. So what it is it's 16 squares. Each square's got a different thing, and so one of them might be Painted Infantry Battalion. Another one is read a Napoleonic memoir, and stuff like that. So one of them is watch Waterloo 1970, that kind of thing. So would that be something that you guys would find useful, find motivating? If it is, I can either do a video on it and or pop it up on the Black Powder Napoleonic page. That's no issue. But let me know if that's something that you would like to see. I did it really just for me, but I'm more than happy to share it if it'll be useful to people. Achille Fontanelli, hello from Australia. Hello to Australia. I hope you're doing well, buddy. I know it seems to be strange days over there from what I'm hearing on various YouTubers and things like that. I don't know how representative that is of Australia, but either way, I hope you're doing very well, buddy. Thank you for joining us. Clive's for not Richie's dice. Well, it doesn't matter. You see, I mean, if you're in the first pile, then once I roll 1 like 8 times in a row, then you'll be laughing, won't you? Do you enjoy painting miniatures? Personally, I find it therapeutic. I do enjoy it. Yes, I do. Although it has sometimes got to the point where, so for instance, I was sat down. I was watching the Squid Game yesterday. I know I'm super behind with everyone else. Everyone else saw it like 6 months ago, but I finally sat down and started watching it. And then I was saying, the missus said, "Oh, did you watch the dubbed version or the subtitle version?" Now, she knows I'm a bit of a snob about these things. So I said, well, I normally would have gone with the subtitles, but because I was painting while I had it on, I went for the dubbed version so I could just listen to what was going on and then look up from time to time, which is how I watch most programs, to be honest, while I'm painting. And she said, well, you've got to make sure you pay attention to the whole thing, otherwise you're going to miss out. So I sometimes think that maybe I should consider painting as one form of therapy, and then, relaxing, watching telly, all that stuff, a different form. I don't know. But we shall see. Great, another excuse to watch Waterloo. Well, exactly. I mean, you've got to have it on in rotation anyway, haven't you? There's another Napoleonic film there, which I would actually argue, I think is a better film about the Napoleonic era than Waterloo is, but I don't want to give it away. If you did the Advent calendar last year, 2021's Advent calendar, you might know what I'm talking about there. It's certainly my favourite Napoleonic era film of all time. With the possible exception, well, I don't know. Does Les Miserables, does that count as Napoleonic era? I mean, it's not. It's afterwards. It's during the revolt, isn't it? I mean, it does have General Lamarck in it. Well, sort of in it. He dies. I'm going to be very, very naughty. While I've got the white out, I'm just going to quickly do these knees. Apologies for everyone who doesn't like me doing non-Napoleonic stuff. I shouldn't be, because it is a Napoleonic channel, so I do apologise. But just while I've got it out, I'm just going to quickly smash out these carapaces. Sorry, there's only 2. I've just seen them looking at me. So this is a game that I actually want to play some more of in. I say some more of, actually play this year is Adeptus Titanicus. It was the first game I really played on my own as a kid. So yeah, I absolutely loved Adeptus Titanicus back in the day. So I need to get some games in on this one. Let me just get that part of his head done. Sorry, I'm just going a bit quiet here. I want to get these done as quickly as possible. There's not really much point in starting on a different colour or something else now, because we are just about to go into the draw. So this play's done. Crow outside, he thinks that's rather hilarious. Right. Heresy, well, it was meant literally, yeah. Murat could have been king of the Cossacks. That can't be topped for my money. Yeah, no, he could have been. That's true, actually. They did offer it to him, but he said no. Bless him. I don't know. I mean, Cossacks have got some cool outfits. Thor, do I thin my paint? I do tend not to with the contrasts or the washes, but I will generally, yes. It just depends on what I'm doing, the effect I'm going for, and how quickly I want to get it done. If I'm doing a highlight, then yes, I absolutely will thin my paints. But if I'm just doing a base coat, then well, it depends. Actually, it depends. The excellent Hornblower film was based on fact, King and Generals. Okay, well, I've not heard that one. I shall check that one out. Prussian secret weapon. Yeah, absolutely. Right, so it is time. Let me move my my camelry out of the way. Let's have a look. So I've got my pile here. So let me extend out. You're going to see the absolute state of my painting station that I don't show you when we're doing these streams now. I'm going to zoom it out a little bit more. There we are. There we are. Right. So let's get these boys out of the way. These are, I find them useful for, while we're here, I find them useful for gluing minis on, as you can see. They are things you stick in the ground for, like labels for plants. Really useful spraying sticks and things like that. But currently denuded. I don't know what I'm going to put on there. Probably First World War British. That's a project I'm working on this year. So I've got the got them here. As I say, I had 75 entries in the end. So I printed them all out. As I say, your taxpayers' dollars hard at work. So I've got pile A. Let me get a pen. So let's make sure this is done nice and fair. Pile A, so that's 1 to 3. And then pile B, 4 to 6. I did have the chap who won last year over in the States. He emailed me his answers in. So let's see if he can go 2 for 2. Right, let's get my dice. I know I'm not going to use my Gebrij Jaeger dice. I want to use my my Roman dice. These are from Dice of War, which is an Australian company. They're really good. I should say that the SPQR is a 6. So if I roll the Roman symbol, then that's a 6. So let's have a look. A 5. So we're on to pile B already. Oh. So if you're in pile A, unlucky. They're not in any particular order, by the way. I had to forward them from my phone to my work email address to print them out. So they're just they're just in the order I got round to doing that in. So we'll keep on that as pile B. Will be that one. So where's my pen again? So here we are. So this is going to be pile A. That's 1 to 3. Let's see. I might have to keep these dice if they keep rolling well. Oh, 4. So we're in pile B again. Oh. How many have we actually got in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we've got a pile of 5 and a pile of 6. So 1, 2, let's mix these up. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've taken every other one and put that in pile B. So there we go. There's 5 in pile B. So that means there'll be 6 in pile A. I'll tell you what, I'm going to have to keep these dice at the moment. I rolled a 5 and a 4. This is unheard of for me. Hang on, let's just jot on there pile A. So there's no pile A. 1 to 3. So there's no shenanigans. A 1. Oh, yeah, that's much more like me. So that's lucky, though, because I think there's 6 in pile A, isn't there? So let's go with 1, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they're all on camera. That's what I like to see. Oh, let's see. Number 3. Oh, he even landed on number 3 as well. So let's see who number 3 is. I'm going to put these to one side for now because I don't know whose these are. So let's. I don't know if he's got the 16 required. So number 3. There we are. That one out. Number 3 is Ben Edwards. So well done, Ben Edwards. Let's have a look. So Old Guard Chasseurs. Oh dear, no, I'm afraid that one's wrong. It was the Old Guard Grenadiers. He has got the 95th right though. Pavlovsky Life Grenadiers. I think we'll have that one. The El Rey. He's got that one. Royal Horse Artillery. Yep, very good. Dutch Lancers of the Guard. Austrian Grenadiers. Guard Corps Saxon. Very good. Don Cossacks. He even got the right Cossacks. Prussian First Life Hussars. Now I did say I was going to let that one go through. Put a question mark for now. I don't think it's going to matter anyway, but let's see. Vistula Legion, yep. Military Order of the Knights Hospitaller, yeah, I'll have that one. That's so cool. Coldstream Guards, Prussian Guard de Corps, 2nd Swiss, yep. 33rd, Brunswick OL, Bavarian Chevalier. They weren't the V-Lights, I don't think. I think they were the. Again, he's got his Chasseurs and his Grenadiers mixed up. The Ottoman Nizam El Sedid, very good. Uhlans, Spanish Highlander. Scots Greys, and the Mounted Grenadiers of the Imperial Guard. Again, Grenadier of Cheval. I mean, that does translate as Mounted Grenadiers. So there we go. Benedict Edwards, congratulations, sir. You are the champione with at least 22, possibly 23. But very well done. Round of applause for Ben. So good stuff, sir. I will be in contact. I'm going to drop you an email, and we'll talk about what starter bundle you're wanting to get for your fine work. Well done there, sir. Who were the other ones who were close? Paul Scheidler was close. James Blackwell, Seapock, David Ledrich, and Andreas. You were in the mix, buddy. Oh, unlucky dude. But Ben Edwards, congratulations. Well done. I shall be in contact and we'll sort something out for you. So that's good. I'm going to put that to one side. Don't worry, I do still have your email address. Basically what I did is I saved all the email addresses and put them in a file with the names next to them. So don't worry, I will be in contact with you. I was just aware I'd already copied everything over and started to save them. And I thought, oh, actually, I'd better take people's email addresses out. I'm sure he wasn't going to get loads of grief from other people on the channel. Don't get me wrong, but I just thought as a pure, I had just done a data security thing at work as well, so I'm like, I probably should have done that, shouldn't I? So well done. Oh, so yeah, so gone. Ben, what are you thinking of? What would be the bundle? This is not a final choice. You don't have to decide now. But what's the thoughts? I'm glad it was someone on the Dodgy Roman dice. Absolutely. Look, I rolled a 4+ twice. There's no one more shocked by that than me, I can tell you. No, don't worry, David. We're all. I seem to remember you getting more 16 or more anyway. Actually, I think you did. Don't quote me on that one, but I think so. But no, very well done, Ben. A sterling effort there. Glad to see that you tripped up on the Italian one. That's. I wanted to put a couple of left field choices in there, and that was one of them. It's also a really nice uniform as well. Thinking about it, I should have done the V-lights because they're cooler than the Grenadiers because they've got that Roman name. There you go. You see, that was it. Maybe it was the Roman influence that was helping you out with the V-lights. I guess it'd be Velate, wouldn't it, if you're using the Roman? I don't know what the modern Italian would be. I should ask Casey. She'll probably know. Actually, no, she doesn't speak Italian, so I don't know. But I'm just doing these grain bags now. Now, they've also got sheepskins up here as well, so I should have done that on the previous model. These are Perry's, unsurprisingly. They did say they were going to do Ottomans in an interview with Wargaming Illustrated. They haven't done them yet, but when they do, I shall certainly be first in line to pick up those. Found this by accident while 50mm Ottomanism LCD. Oh, I've got some more Ottomans as well, some exciting ones from Skytrex. They do the Janissary, like the Janissary cadets with their weird like cone hats. So I've got some of those. I should get those sorted at some point. In fact, I may stick those to the old those plant labels I was just mentioning. Those plant labels are good, but anything that's plastic or resin is almost like welded to them, so you have to only really use them for metals. So the Nizam cadet, the Janissary cadets may well find their way on there. I will say one thing, though, they are absolutely humongous. They are incredibly well fed, Janissary cadets, that is for sure. Actually, it's Wheelite. Oh, right, okay, well, fair enough. Yeah. As we know, my pronunciation is not the best. Is that Wheelite in modern Italian, or would it have been Wheelite in Latin as well? That's not me being. Well, actually, it's legitimately. I don't know. I'd be interested to. So my entire knowledge of how it's pronounced comes from playing Rome Total War. So there you go. I'm not going to pretend I'm some sort of linguistical expert on that one. Oh no, you definitely qualified, Retail Mike. How many of them got them all right? I've not been through all the answers, Clive, but I think most people did. But I think that may have been a few people got disheartened by getting a few wrong, so they just didn't bother putting their applications in. So I think the ones that I looked at, certainly the majority of them were 20 or more, which is good. It's a good number. I'm not sure had I not been doing it, I'm not sure I would have got 20 or more. I have to say, I probably would have got 16, but I'm not sure I would have got more than 20. Thanks for kind of great fun. Happy New Year. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, buddy. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's the important thing. It's just something to do. That little thing every evening. To be honest, I really enjoyed filming it as well. Although doing it, I did break my camera because it fell on the stone floor of where I was staying. So that was that was a bit annoying. But yeah, hopefully, I don't know. I've got some ideas for what I'm going to do next year. But I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. Didn't do his saddlecloth there, did I? His sheepskin. Maybe Russians or maybe Italians. I'll have to watch the video. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Thank you for any competition. Oh, thank you, Glenn. Thank you for taking part, buddy. That's it, Benedict. So what I'm doing, mate, is I'm just trying to get the viewer count for the start to buy videos up. So I know that you're gonna have to watch them all now, so I can add one to every to one viewer to every one of those videos. So my master plan has been complete. Oglani, there you go. Dunce's hats. Yeah. They really are Dunce's hats. Yeah, no, that's an excellent description. Yes, there they are. No. Well, these ones, I certainly wouldn't make them stand in the corner in Dunce's hat because they'd probably tear me apart. They're like jetties. The Skytrex minis are absolutely humongous. These bags I'm doing here, I'm not sure they are bags actually. They look more like wine, like water skins. But well, they can be sort of hide water skins as well. Oh, I didn't do his reins, did I? Fool of a took. Let's go back to them. So get that one done there. Clark, Cinny Dave, I just woke up. That's all right, mate. So did I. Don't worry about it. Benedict, you could always go for Bavarians. That one should be out soon. We hope. Yeah, it should be out soon. Sorry, I was going to do it for yesterday, but I thought, well, no, actually, I better get the results out first. So, how to start collecting Bavarians should be this coming weekend. I'm not going to lie though, I've not actually recorded it yet, so that's rather naughty. So I may end up doing it tonight or sometime during the week. But it should be okay. It should be okay. I'm back to work from tomorrow, but I've got the script sorted and everything, so it's just a question of actually sitting down and recording it, getting the pictures together. Problem is with the Bavarians is my Bavarian army is using the hat 28mm figures. Now, I know a lot of people don't like them because they're very small, which is fair enough. They are very small. But I actually quite like them, and they are dirt cheap as well. I mean, they are ridiculously cheap. So that's why I got them. Also, I was sick and tired of waiting for Victrix to bring theirs out. So, yeah, I'm going to have to get the pictures for the Bavarian stuff online. There's also something as well. Maybe someone here can help me, actually. In the Bavarian infantry, it says that you only get one, like, because I've not got any, so I've only gone off the description on the website. So it says that you get one command group and 2 mounted officers. Now, the mounted officers are on the command sprue. So, unless there's an extra sprue that's just got the mounted officer on, I'm not sure that that's the case. I think you must get two command sprues, and that would be the same as their Austrians. So, if anyone who's got them, can you let me know? So, infantry, like officer, standard bearer, drummer, do you get 2 of those, or do you only get 1 of those? Because that will change how I talk about what to buy, because I do recommend getting some extra command groups, so that would help. Just got their camels ahoy. It's always camels ahoy on this channel. Loving the camels. Great. The best thing about the camels, I find, is when they charge and you get to make the camel charging noises, it absolutely disquietens the opponent. I mean, General Dan has been known to flee to the bar at the sound of my honking camels as they range in. But having said that, I'm not sure they actually completed any cavalry charges with the camels. I assume they just use them as mounted infantry, which is a bit of a shame. Although the Arabs should be using camels. The Mamelukes probably not. They would have had horses. But the Desert Arabs, if you've watched my video on Muhammad Ali Pasha, which I have to say actually is one of my favorite videos on the channel. In fact, I might do a top 5 favorite videos of mine on the channel. Muhammad Ali Pasha is probably up there as one of the favorite ones because he's something I knew almost nothing about going into researching him, and he is one incredible guy. He really, really is. I mean, you know, we talk about Napoleon going from a Corsican, you know, middle class guy to Emperor of France. Well, you know, the meteoric rise of Muhammad Ali Pasha is no less impressive than that. I mean, he went from the son of a Albanian tax collector to effectively the ruler of Egypt. So yeah, no, it's a fascinating story. But yeah, so in that they fought the Arabs they fought with and against the Arabs quite a lot. And the Arabs in there should be riding camels as well, and they would have done cavalry charges because they didn't really have the mounted infantry doctrine. So yeah, so I don't think there were many cavalry charges, but I'm going to charge them in, and I will be making the braying camel noises whenever I do, because any excuse. Hat are the unsung heroes of 28mm Napoleonics. Well, yeah, they're an interesting one. I think there's 2 command groups and 2 command sprues. That was my thought as well. Thor says I think you get a 1. I don't know. According to the website, you only get 1, but you get 2 mounted officers. So I'm going to head into town today. I'm going to look at this new Element Games store, and I'm going to pop into Wargaming Emporium as well. And I may end up picking up a packet, more than anything else, just to have a look to see what that is. So yeah, if you do want to get the start collecting Bavarians, Ben, you'd be helping me out because I don't need the figures. But yeah, so the Hat 28mm are actually really good. The French light infantry they do as well are quite nice. The camel troops for Harad in Lord of the Rings game are brutal. I lost a host of Rohirrim Royal Guard to a single charge. Those guys, yes, they are, Scarlet Pimpernel, and that is exactly where my love of the camel originates. I've got a Far Harad army, and they're just absolutely brutal. Automatic strength 4 hit on the charge is it's just beautiful. The fact that it hits both the rider and the mount. In one game, I went to a tournament a couple of years ago, and I was playing against, I think it was Mirkwood, and they had a mounted Legolas, so I charged 3 camels into him, killed a horse, so I knocked him down and then killed him in the same turn. It was amazing. They're absolutely disgusting, especially when you give them the war spear as well. Since that prevents 58 figures comes out as 8 6-man sprues and 2 5-man command sprues. Right, okay, could be then. But then Thor also says that he thinks there's only 1 in there. I don't know. I shall have to have a look. As I say, according to the website, you only get 1. They're unlikely to underrepresent what there is, certainly deliberately, but it could just be a mistake as well. So I shall have to check. So I'm just going in and layering the highlighting on this this cloak. As I say, I don't mind it being too contrasty, because that's a good representation of the desert sun. Now for white these days, I use Vallejo white because Games Workshop white is absolutely shockingly appalling. I cannot express how bad Games Workshop white is. So I finally bit the bullet, moved to Vallejo, just for certain colours, and it's been an absolute dream. The other thing I use Vallejo for a lot is World War II. They do like colour match for, interestingly, they do a Japanese infantry yellow, which I painted my entire Japanese army. In fact, I did them on a live stream once because I had to do a live stream, and I had a big game coming up that I needed to paint the infantry for. So you can see my Japanese infantry on the channel. So they're very yellow because I used a Vallejo uniform. And Alex from Storm of Steel very kindly told me that it's actually they wore green. It's nothing like the uniform that they wore. But I've already painted like 150 15mm guys in this colour. Yeah, they were yellow as far as I'm concerned. May I ask, does anyone know when Epic Battles Waterloo are going to be available? I'm not sure. Check the Outpost website. They've got them up for pre-order at the moment, and the way they do their pre-orders is they do them by date rather than by system. So if you check the pre-orders on the Outpost website, you can use my affiliate link, which you can find in some of my other videos. I'll pop it on here if I remember at some point. Then you will be able to see what date they're expecting them to be released. It's certainly in January. I can't exactly remember when. Something tells me it's the 12th, but I could be making that up. It certainly wouldn't be the first time. So do not quote me on that, because it might be something else that's happening on the 12th. It might be like an anniversary or something. There's definitely something to do with the 12th of January. I've got no idea what it is, but it's definitely something. Did anyone get to see the Waterloo remodeled diorama at the National Army Museum? No, I didn't actually. No, it's a good question. To be honest, I wasn't that bothered. The National Army Museum was a bit of a clown show, unfortunately. But like the day before, I think the Saturday was the last day, and on the Friday I saw a thing and it looked absolutely awesome. So I'm now really gutted that I didn't go. But let that be a lesson to me. I shouldn't have let my my problem with the venue get in the way of seeing something cool. So that's that's on me, that one. I'm just going back again, just picking out the highlights on here. I might go with another light wash of Apothecary White, just to blend it all together. I've done it already once over the slightly off white, the Clorax white, but now I'm going over with a white, and it'll just bring it all together. What time are we on? I need to disappear just before 1, so I've got a bit of time yet. That's cool. It's only after 12. Looks like he's got a bit of a design on the bottom of his cloak there. Now, I don't know if that's just a miscast from the Perrys. It could be. Or it could be an actual design. Bit of flash on there. I don't know. I might do it as a funky little design anyway. Getting a bit thick that there. So yeah, going back to the question of keeping motivation in the hobby. Yeah, I think reading books or watching films, things like that around the period can really help me. I do like a sharp, I'm not going to lie. That sometimes gets me going. I went to, you just very briefly saw my Adeptus Titanicus Knights there. And I've had them on my bookcase for about a year, where I built them and I've just not really been able to face painting them. And I went to Warhammer World on the 27th, the last Tuesday, the 27th, 28th. And to be honest, I didn't really get a huge amount of inspiration for 40k or fantasy, but seeing the Adeptus Titanicus stuff really did inspire me. So that was something as well. You know, maybe go to a museum, or if you've got any regimental museums nearby, you could possibly pop to. We've got just up the road one of the Light Dragoons regimental museums, but a place called Cannon Hall. I keep meaning to go there, and I haven't got round to it yet. But I went a while ago, and it wasn't very good. But apparently, they've done it up since then. I mean, when I say a while ago, I mean like 15 years ago. Apparently, they've done it up since then, so it's a lot better now. Right, now, this is one thing I just wanted to show you. This is why I keep this brush around, or one of the main reasons I keep the brush around. I've used it quite a lot today, but you can see that the end of the bristles, let me get that in the middle of the screen, the bristles, the end of them are curled over, which is normally, obviously, a really bad thing. I don't know how it happened. I do not store my my brushes point down or anything like that, so it's quite annoying, but it does make it useful for really useful for one thing in particular, and that is side brushing, as I call it. I don't know what the real name for it is. I'm sure Duncan Rhodes does. But I call it side brushing, and what it is you get the thing here, and you use the flat of the brush just to bring out the braiding. Because it's flat, it runs along the top of the detail. And leaves the blue in between. And that gives you the braiding there. Now, when you do need to pick out an individual piece of braid, so I can see just here underneath the cross belt, it's not quite come out. You can flip it over. You've got quite a fine point there to do it with. So there we go. Happy with that. He's going to go there. Now the thing is, when you're doing this this technique as well, I mean, it's not really a technique, but you don't want the paint too watery. So someone asked if I water my paints down. Well, I did for the white when I was doing the cloak, but here I want it to be reasonably thick. If it's too runny, then obviously it's just going to run into the gap between the braid. So you want to be careful of that. Ideally, I want to be able to see the individual lines of braiding. It doesn't have to be perfect, because the thing is, with the human eye, it will factor in where it thinks that the line should be. I'm just going to do this guy's cross belt while we're here. Looking good, happy with that. I'll go back in and do the buttons later. Fun fact, all brushes make a wonderful mast when making a long ship. Okay, that's good to know. I tend to use my brushes until the absolute death. I've got loads of brushes that, I mean, this one here is a really good example. It's just so worn down. I use that for all sorts of stuff. It's sort of edge highlighting, yeah, but because I've got this knackered brush, I can do it with a brush that's curled over slightly. I can just get that in that gap there. Now, because the officer's got his coat open, he's not got a huge amount of braid that you can see. Well, he's not an officer, is he? Well, he is an officer, he's a standard bearer. But I'll just quickly brush it along there. Let the brush get into the gaps itself. Don't need to force it. Again, use a flat of the brush there. I can just dab it down. I'll get the white on. Lovely. I'm looking forward to getting this unit finished. I think they're going to look really nice when they're done. This one might be a little bit more obvious because I'm doing it over red here. Now, I know I just said I don't want to water the paint down, but it is getting a little bit too thick. It is drying out a little bit too much. So I don't want it to clog up the brush either. It does need to come off the brush. So again, we'll start with the cross strap. There we are. Get that done there. This one here, lovely. A bit too thick there. Up here by his buttons up there. Not so pleased with this one. Let's try a different approach. Let's try it with the other side of the brush. So I'll do it with the point of the brush. Paint them in individually there, so that gives us a nice representation of it. I've got some down here on his strap, so let's tidy that up now. It used to be white anyway on his belt. There we go. Now you can use a detail brush for this. The reason I tend not to is because it hasn't got so much paint on. dries up very quickly on the bristles, so it ends up lumpy, or just you have to start all over again. But starting my second group with 200 French Cuirassiers. Blimey, Charlie. Thank you, Ratel. Yeah, no, it was an interesting video to do that one. I get very frustrated when people just, oh, this new thing's ridiculous. Someone pointed out in the comments, and it was the best. It was the best thing, and it was something I didn't think of myself, which is why I thought it was such a good point. Is that, you know, when 50mm came out, there was all this this stuff then as well, and now people are complaining that there's a new scale instead of 50mm out. So yeah. Knackered oil brushes are useful for PVA. Yeah, no, that's true. I have an obverse. What's that one, buddy? I don't know that one. I've got a brush here, this one, that is the most knackered brush. I mean, just look at the color of it. I mean, this is me pushing down on it. This is by far the best brush I've ever bought. It's absolutely incredible. I can use it for almost anything. I know it was like super solid there, but once you crack the the solid bristles, you can do that looks absolutely shocking. What have I done there? You can do almost anything with that brush. It's an absolutely phenomenal brush. I love it. I'm just going to try and take that white off, because that was really bad. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, it might be like a high-waisted, like a strip belt. Let's have another go at that one. Get some of the excess off on his cross belt there. A bit too much on there. There we go, that's much better. It's one of the things I like about acrylic paints is that if you do mess up, if you're quick enough, you can usually go back and repair the damage before it's too late. I guess with oils you've got even longer, but I tend to find oils, when you try and take them off, they just smear everywhere, so that makes the situation worse. Here we go. There's that one up there, lovely. And then the ossifer. Me, it really works having cleaning soap around. Cleaning brushes after painting saves a lot of money. Yeah, absolutely. I do need to do that. My brush care is absolutely shocking. It's the reason why I've never bought expensive brushes, is because I don't really look after them very well. I should do. I know I should do. My brother tells me off for it all the time, but I just don't. So let's get this guy's braiding going, and I think we're going to start to wrap up. This guy's got a really bad mold line right down the middle of the front of him, so I may end up having to get another command group. That's a bit annoying. Let's me do his moustache while we're here. Shame, because he's a lovely model. This is a perennial complaint I have with the Perrys, though. Is putting the mole lines down the middle of the faces. It really does grind my gears. So I'm going to have to come in and trim this moustache. I should have done that sooner, really, but it's only really shown up when I did the flesh contrast on him. Still not super thrilled with that one. That's a bad mold line, that one. But there we are. That's the draw for today. I've done some more work on the camel core, so that's good. I know General Dan will be thrilled to see to see those guys hitting the tabletop soon. Have I got my Agrax Earth Shade here? Let me have a look. I might have a quick bash at that. So the sheepskins and the food bags and the water skins, I'll do a quick wash of those, and then I think we'll knock it on the head. So well done to Ben. Well done on winning. Well done to everyone else who entered as well. One of the things that was really, really nice to read, and I wanted to bring this up, is a lot of you guys put messages in the emails as well. Now I deleted those from the ones that I was going to show on camera, or most of them I did. But thank you very, very much. It really meant a lot to read those messages of support and things like that. And you know, a lot of people thanked me. And honestly, you don't need to thank me. It should be me that's thanking you guys. You give up your time. You're you know, we've all got so much stuff to do these days. We've not got enough time to do it all. So thank you very much for giving up your time to spend with me. And read some of my more rambly video and listen to some of my more rambly videos. But and sometimes as well, you know, I know you guys will watch videos that you're not particularly interested in. So thank you for coming on that journey with me as well. It's been an absolute pleasure. And the advent calendar is just the very smallest way I can say thank you back to the community. I'm hoping to do a little bit more this year, community-wise. We'll see going forward. I see a lot of other YouTubers out there. I mean, Storm of Steel is a really good example, and they're very, you know, very in with the other YouTubers. You know, they'll have shout-outs and collabs and all that stuff, and I don't really do any of that. It's not necessarily something that I'm particularly interested in, but I enjoy watching it when I see others do it. But in spite of it, so I sometimes feel I'm slightly apart from the community. Obviously, this community is great. We've got our own, but the wider wargaming community. So I want to maybe do something that's going to put Napoleonic wargaming out there, not just the channel, but the actual hobby and the period. I see a lot of World War II stuff going on, and like bolt action and flames of war and all that stuff. I think with silver bayonets, I think that might be a good way of doing it. I think epic battles probably not. But I think that's, you know, I think a problem a lot of people have in the Napoleonics is the time commitment, and certainly epic battles is going to be no small time commitment. But where are we? So yeah, I need to seriously. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, Mike. When you are in the UK, buddy, drop me an email. You might want to message me on Facebook as well to tell me that you dropped me an email, and if we can meet up for a beer or something. Then let me know. That'd be awesome. Anyone else who's visiting the north of the UK, that invitation is open to you as well. So, although actually I'm away at the start of the end of January, so I may not be in Sheffield, but let me know, and we'll see what we can do. So thank you, David. Be careful what you wish for, though, dude. I ramble enough as it is. You don't want to encourage me to do more. But thank you very much, guys. I'm just going to do this last one here, and then I'm going to do... Oh, I've already done his bag. There we go. I'm going to knock it on the head there. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a huge amount of fun. It's been nice hanging out again. It's been too long since I've done this. The next bank holidays are going to be Easter time, so we'll have to smash some more live streams out then. Good luck with all your painting. And as soon as the Camel Corps and the rest of the Oriental troops are ready to go, then you guys will be the second to know, because the first one will be General Dan, as I'm forcing him to play me. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you guys next time.